Consul General is the senior Canadian representative in that territory, and our territory hubs out of Southern California to include Arizona and Nevada. So our job as Consul Generals and the teams that we lead are about diplomatic, economic, and cultural partnership and value setting, defining, and activating and amplifying. I come from a media and entertainment background, both from in front of the scenes and behind the scenes. So I've had a good opportunity to not only work in the business, but also be associated and connected to a lot of people in what's considered now the media and entertainment business. And if we know anything about the media and entertainment business in this day and age, it's that almost everything can be associated with media and entertainment, because that includes news, includes politics, it includes sports, it includes weather. And so when someone comes, I think, from the kind of background that I do and has had the good fortune of being connected as much as I've been able to be connected, it gives you a great sense of how to speak, how to interact, and how to listen. That's one of the key things, because if you're a good media and entertainment operator in the business, it means you're listening to your audience, you can understand, you can predict where trends might be going, and you can help shape the dialogue as well as participate in the dialogue. And I think as a representative of the Canadian government working with Arizona and the other territories, it's going to be now, and it's very key in our ongoing relationship to talk about what are trends. What trends are we seeing? Where is the economy going? How are our residents and citizens and human resources? What do they believe in? What do they love? What are they concerned about? So our ability to listen and communicate is going to be really top of mind. And I think someone from a place like the backgrounds I've come from understands that listening and communicating are actually just part of your DNA. I think everyone assumes and has a general awareness that, of course, Canada and the U.S. are integral partners and we're friends and we have this great, kind of border relationship where we're such two land masses that connect and our people are culturally go back and forth a lot. But what people don't sometimes understand or don't realize, I should say, maybe they understand it, but they don't realize it on a kind of pure numbers basis, is that Canada is the #1 international employer in Arizona. And that means you don't have, when I say international, it's right next door, and it's your #1 employer here. We have over 350 companies that are based out of Arizona, employing over 1,000 locations in the state. I mean, that's a big set. Our commercial real estate investment here is about $2.7 billion. Sorry, I should just say real estate, not commercial, just our real estate investment here, including private and commercial. The value of goods and services that we invest in is over $3 billion that Canadians invest in Arizona. I'm not talking U.S., I'm talking Arizona alone. So that's a lot right there to think about. Your #1 international employer. So that means of any country in the world other than your own, who else employs the people that live here, the people that help the economy go, the people that pay the taxes? It's Canada. When you think of the real estate value, $2.7 billion, who's paying those taxes, who's buying, who's helping the economy grow, who's getting those workers making those infrastructures? Guess what? It's Canada. And then when you think about the goods and services, the value of that, the jobs, the ecosystems that grow out of the primary industries, but also the ancillary and auxiliary industries, that's over $3 billion, and that's coming from Canada in Arizona. So I think that speaks to the value, the sheer economic value of the relationship. USMCA is a resetting of the table between the three countries who had a paramount relationship through the NAFTA, what was then called NAFTA. The fact that USA, Canada, and Mexico can be this aligned on so many values economically and culturally and diplomatically, that is key. That's a global standard. That's one of the best practices in the world if you would think about international relations. We have so many other continents and many countries who are actually really going through a crisis, if you will, of how do we deal with each other? How do we take advantage, but how do we not give up our advantage? And somehow the great countries that make up U.S., Canada, Mexico have figured it out on paper, no less. And I don't think we can shy away from the value and the positivity of that. So what needs to happen is, if we can't shy away from it, we have to move forward quickly. We have to ratify the USMCA. We have to make sure that things within the USMCA that are troubling, and I'm going to speak about the tariffs to the steel and aluminum here, that those are troubling. We need to mitigate those troubling factors so that the economy, economic health, especially as it relates to how the U.S., Canada, and Mexico look at each other. We need to really mitigate those issues and quickly ratify what already is there. The table is set for a real great future, a real good 10, 20, who knows how long beyond of that. But right now, even though each country has ratified it or has signed off on it, we have ratification to go through, and sometimes, you know, we know what's in the details, as they say. So and we want to make sure that that devil that's in the details, we can mitigate and contain it. The big vision is that I have the good fortune, again, our territory through the consulate includes, as I said, Arizona, Southern California, and Nevada, which are so closely connected to the Mexico border as well. And so this idea of Canada's relationship to Southwest U.S. and Mexico, I think, is where we need to think about that vision. How can Canada not just help the USA and Mexico and Canada get together, but how can Canada, through our consulate here, help the state relationships between Arizona, California, and Nevada, and the country relationships between Southwest U.S. and Mexico be really successful? What role can we all play in each other's success? And what role can we all play in each other's mitigation of any challenges and support for overcoming any challenges? I think that's going to be key to our next phase of the relationship. It's been a great relationship. It's been a happy one. We've gotten over some issues as we talk about in terms of the new USMCA. But now, as we look to the next 5, 10, 20 years, I would say, what's our vision of working together really mean to each other? Not just how does Canada and Arizona work together, and then how does Arizona and Mexico, or how does Canada and US, or how do I look at my Southern California territory versus my Arizona territory? It's nothing versus about it. What it is how do we collectively look at this to support each other and to make sure that we take the best of the advantages and really help each other minimize any of the challenges? I think that's going to be key.